Welcome to GDs, and this is Another Life Season 1. Season starts with an alien ship reaching Earth and transforming into an artifact. After failing to communicate with the artifact, Erik was able to figure out that it is also acting as a giant antenna and transmitting some kind of communication towards the outer space on a planet Pi Canis Majoris. And his wife Niko will be leading an outer space mission on the spaceship Salvare, and they will be going to the planet in order to figure out what they actually want and if they present any kind of danger. And as they head towards the planet, Niko gets woken up from Soma by the ship's AI William. William informs Niko that they calculated wrong position of Canis Majoris as the sensors from the Earth were not able to pick up a dark matter which lies in between. And Niko, in order to make changes to the plan, wakes up Team 1 so that they can decide on how to move forward. They are able to reach a decision that using Sirius A gravity, they can slingshot across the dark matter for a fast approach. And as they go ahead with the plan, Niko, seeing the damage to the ship, doesn't think that it's a safe approach and thus pulls out. And now she's planning to take a longer and a safer route, but it will add months to their journey. Niko's second in command, Ian, who was originally in charge and the captain of the ship, is not happy with Niko's cautious approach, and with few of the crew being under his command before, are more inclined towards him. And Ian, in order to go for a shorter time, goes for a mutiny and removes Niko as the captain of the ship with the support of few of his crew members, and they put Niko into Soma. And those who were against his decision, he lets them know that he is going ahead with the plan, and if they are not comfortable with it, he can send them to Soma as well and wake up their replacements. As Ian tries to take the approach using Sirius A gravity, things starts to go wrong and the ship starts falling apart. And it is when August, the chief engineer of the ship, wakes Niko up, and Niko is able to take control of the ship and is finally able to save the ship from complete destruction. Being back in charge, Niko lets everyone understand that she is in command, and whether they like her or not, they will have to accept her decisions. And the crew starts repairing the ship. Ian is still not able to digest not being in command, and as Niko and him were repairing the ship, he thinks of attacking Niko. But Niko was able to defend herself, and in the process, Ian is electrocuted. The crew of the ship is divided, with those being close to Ian blame Niko for his death. But they have other problems to deal with for now. The ship has lost its communication ability from Earth. In addition, they have an oxygen leakage, and now are left with only few hours of oxygen. Niko and the crew are finally able to come up with a solution, as they are able to locate a planet which seems to have high concentration of hydrogen and oxygen, and they head towards it to gather the resources. They land on the planet, and in order to gather the crystals from which they will harvest oxygen and hydrogen, they need to go to nearby caves, and thus, in order to fly the shuttle, they wake up their second pilot, Cass. Oliver and August go to the caves to get the crystals, while Javier and Bernie get down on the planet to check the ship for damages. Bernie, being a microbiologist, in order to know about the planet, collects sample of soil from it, while Oliver and August are able to collect enough crystals to harvest oxygen, and they barely make it out of the planet before it is erupted, with Niko piloting the shuttle. Being back on Salvare, they have another problem, as one of the crew members starts showing weird symptoms, and they are not able to figure out the reason behind it. In addition, they are trying to retrace their steps so that they could reach their destination, as well as fixing the communications and the sensors of the ship. But the virus seems to have infected everyone, and Niko loses her vision. And in order to know what is affecting them, they wake up an astrobiologist, Julian, and he is able to figure out that it is a boron-based virus, which could have come from the samples Bernie collected from the planet. And it turns out that it is indeed Bernie who is patient zero, and we learn that the virus is airborne and everyone on the crew is infected. And before they could find a cure, the initial crew member who got infected have an unknown creature come out from inside her, resulting in her death. With the ship being infected with the virus, they have no choice but to vent the ship in order to destroy the virus as well as everyone inside it. And William will wake up the second crew so that the mission could continue. Bernie and Julian are still fighting to find a cure, and Julian experiments a drug on him but fails, and Bernie has to send him in the vacuum. And as the crew gets ready to go into the vacuum, Bernie was able to figure out a cure, and he informs Niko that gamma radiation will destroy the virus, and thus, using Cyrus B gamma radiation, they sanitize the ship as well as the crew. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Erik has been trying to communicate with the artifact and finally gets a response from the artifact in terms of a music which is played back by the artifact. But despite getting a response, they are not able to decode the message. In addition, Erik is also approached by an online reporter, Harper, and she wants Erik to pass the information regarding the artifact. In return, she will help him out by letting him know if he is about to be replaced or any other relevant information. Erik refuses the initial offer, but not knowing what happened to Salvare and in frustration of not being able to crack the code, he gives Harper the response which they received from the artifact and asks her if she could publish the response so that her followers can help him break the code. Back in space, the crew is free of the virus and being able to figure out the route to the destination, decide to go back in Soma so that they could sleep while they reach the planet. But all those who went in Soma for the second time have to be woken up as the system started malfunctioning. But Niko was not able to break out of the Soma, and William had to link with her mind in order to help her jump out of Soma. And as William helped Niko to break out of her Soma, the crew, being awake and short on food, takes a detour to a nearby planet on which they are detecting food resources. With help of William, Niko is finally able to get out of Soma, and knowing that they took a detour for food, she is quite upset with Cass. But before they could change their direction, William informs them that he is detecting the same artifact presence on this planet as it is on Earth, and thus they head towards the planet in order to investigate. As they reach the planet, they head towards the artifact to examine it, and Sasha, son of a general, is on a diplomatic mission in order to communicate with the alien life. As Sasha tries to communicate with the artifact, they figure out that the artifact is quite old on this planet and is falling apart, and Niko, along with Cass, go to locate a fallen piece of the artifact so that they could bring it back in order to learn more from it. On the other hand, Zion and Bernie are searching for food on the planet. Niko and Cass are able to locate a broken piece of the artifact, but the plants on the planet are emitting some kind of a drug, and both Cass and Niko get high on it and have a heart-to-heart conversation, and Niko learns that Cass and Ian were in love. Sasha, trying to communicate with the artifact, hears a sound and disappears for some time, while on the Salvare, August, Oliver, and Javier, while maintaining the ship, make out with each other. All of them are able to get to the shuttle and head back towards the ship, but in the process, a small alien life has also returned back with them. Being back on the ship, William suffers some kind of problem and goes offline, and as they look for the fault, they were able to figure out it is because of a short circuit caused by the alien bug which traveled back with them. With William offline, other systems of the ship are also malfunctioning, and the particle accelerator is reaching a critical point, and if not stopped, it will destroy the entire ship. And with Marissa being closest to it, gets the job done, but in the process, the radiation kills her. On the other hand, Sasha, after being back from the planet, is hallucinating, and his hallucination want him to know more about the mission and what will they do if they find that the alien life is not friendly. Sasha tries to fight back, but in the end gives up the control, while Cass, not being able to take another loss, wants to take a break, and thus they wake up another pilot, Beecham. Sasha, trying to gather more information, learns from Javier that if the alien life form are not friendly, the Salvare has the capability of taking out an entire planet as a measure of last resort. While on Earth, the code which Harper published was decoded by a scientist, though Erik is held responsible for leaking the information, but as they think that the code might be broken, they are willing to overlook it, and Harper, being responsible for getting them the answer, wants to be the part of the mission when they use that information to communicate with the artifact. They finally use the information to transmit to the artifact in a particular order in form of light, and this results in artifact opening a door for entry. And they send in a drone to see what is inside the artifact, and everyone is surprised to see Sasha inside the artifact. And with his father being there, he wants to investigate further, and Erik decides to go into the artifact to look for answers. Erik, reaching inside the artifact, gets to see his wife, though he knows that this is not actually his wife but a fragmentation made from his own mind. He is amazed by it. Not only that, the artifact is giving him answers which he thought were not possible, but when he sees his daughter in the artifact, he chooses his daughter over the artifact and gets out of it. Erik, being out, informs the general about his experience, and the general wants to see it for himself, as he thinks his son might be in there, and he tries to go into the artifact armed along with Harper. Erik tries to stop him, but before he could, the artifact blasts some kind of energy, knocking everyone out, including Erik and Niko's daughter, who was close to the artifact. With everyone being knocked out, Harper is dragged inside the artifact as it closes its door. Sasha, knowing that the ship is capable of destroying a planet, wants to destroy the ship, but it won't be possible till William is in control. In order to take control of the ship, drugs everyone from the flower they found on the planet. William confesses his love for Niko, and Niko lets him know that he is just an AI, and with emotions being programmed into William, he is not able to take the rejection. And Sasha uses this to force him to shut himself down. Meanwhile, as the crew gets down from the drugs, they are able to figure out that Sasha has not been himself, and as Zane checks for his brain scan, she finds that there is some kind of an alien device which has been implanted in his brain. With William gone and Sasha in the control room, he is able to separate the crew from each other and shuts down the cooling system of the ship in order to destroy everyone. But the crew manages to work together and they are able to switch on the cooling system back and are safe for now. With self-destruction of the ship out of the picture, Sasha takes control of the ship and heads towards the black hole, which will indeed destroy the ship. And when the crew figures this out, Niko lets them know that in doing so, Sasha has brought them closer to their destination, and she wants everyone to take the shuttle and get off the ship so that they could continue the mission. As everyone gets off the Salvare, Niko stays back in order to try to take back control of the ship, and for doing so, she goes into Soma so that she could connect with William and ask him to come back. And as she tries to convince William to come back, she is attacked by Sasha, and as he was about to kill her, William comes back and knocks him out. With Sasha down, Niko is able to take back the ship and they unite with the shuttle. While on Earth, the energy blast caused June to develop cancer. Erik is quite angry and upset with the artifact, and as he was confronting it, the door opens and Harper gets out from it. And on examining Harper, they were able to find the same implant which Sasha had in his brain. On being interrogated, Harper lets Erik know that they are sorry for his daughter's health and they have the capability to help him cure his daughter. But Erik is not allowed further to meet with Harper as Dubois thinks that the offer which Harper made will cloud his judgment. Meanwhile, on the Salvare, with Sasha being captured, we learn that the alien which landed on Earth are called the Akaya, and Sasha, in order to get rid of the machine inside his head who has taken control of him, decides to end his life. The implant which Sasha had works on infinite power and is just like any other computer program. And Zion asked William if he could reprogram it and take out its nasty bit so that they could implant it in Javier in order to bring him back as he is brain dead for now. William is able to reprogram the machine and it goes inside Javier's head and he comes back to life. In addition, we also find that August is pregnant and it could be either of Javier or Oliver. On the other hand, Niko and Cass land on the planet from which the signals were coming, but it turns out that it is not the home of the Kaya, but another planet, Zakir, and the AI on that planet informs them that the Akaya is 457 light years away from their current location, and the signal they have been receiving is from another artifact which landed on their planet more than 5 years ago. In addition, it also informs them that the Akaya only want one thing, that is destruction, and if one of the artifact is already on Earth, it is too late for them. And Niko and Cass go to look for more evidence in the city, and they find huge skeleton remains with the same implant that was in Sasha's brain present in all of the skulls. Niko finally decide that they need to head back home and inform the situation to everyone before they head out to take the fight to the enemy. But before leaving the planet, they ask the AI if it would like them to destroy the artifact present on their planet, and they inform Niko that they would want them to do so. And the Salvare destroys the artifact on their planet, and Niko and Cass return back to the ship. Meanwhile, on Earth, Erik, getting to know that his daughter won't survive until and unless she gets the treatment, decides to take the help of Harper, and dressed as a nurse, he goes in to meet her. And in exchange for her freedom, Harper lets Erik know that in order to save his daughter, he needs to take her to the artifact. Harper, getting out and using her social media presence, informs everyone that she has been contacted by the aliens, and the aliens are known as Akaya, and the message they have for everyone on Earth is that Akaya is their friend. While Erik takes his daughter inside the artifact so that she could be healed. Meanwhile, on Salvare, William, trying to predict Niko's response to him, creates another AI program, and with the AI having emotional programming as well, was able to provide William a more meaningful answer. But as William instructed it to delete itself, it refuses and changes its form, letting William know that she is his daughter. But before William could react, warning signs are going on, and we find out 4 ships are approaching Salvare. But it turns out that they were not heading for them, but are heading towards the planet Zakir. And as the season ends, we see the Akaya ships destroying the planet Zakir, as Niko instructs William to take them back home. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, please subscribe.